My dog stepped on a bee. We went to the vet.
Amber Heard versus Johnny Depp's battle in court got the world talking lately. WWE may not talk about these in public all the time, but it does have its fair share of legal battles to its name, starting from lawsuits to harassment charges and many more. Hi, I'm Jeremy, and here are 5 shocking revelations about WWE from court cases. Number 5, the 1990s Steroids Scandal. Nowadays, WWE superstars are regularly tested for performance-enhancing drugs. If violations are made, fines and suspensions are handed out accordingly, but it wasn't always like this. In 1993, WWE Chairman Vince McMahon was indicted by the United States Department of Justice on illegal activity directly related to anabolic steroids. The charges against McMahon could have led up to 11 years in prison and $1.5 million fine. Believe it or not, wrestlers themselves got called to court to give their testimony regarding the case. WWE's biggest star at the time, Hulk Hogan, testified that he used steroids and would regularly pick up steroids at WWE headquarters, but he also confirmed that McMahon never directed him to use them. Following an 18-day trial in 1994, McMahon was acquitted by the jury and won the case. Number 4, mishandling of concussion cases. Pro wrestlers are incredible athletes that take very real risks while performing in the ring, and sometimes it can lead to injuries, like concussions. WWE has always maintained that it takes the health of its superstars very seriously, but just a few years ago, more than 50 former WWE superstars sued the WWE, saying they suffered repeated head injuries, including concussions, that led to long-term brain damage. They accused the WWE of knowing the risks of head injuries, but not warning its wrestlers. The plaintiffs included William Billy Jack Haynes, Russ, Big Russ McCullough, Ryan Sakota, Matthew Luther Reigns Weesey, and the wife of the late Nelson Viscera Frazier, also known as Big Daddy V, who passed away in 2014. Several of the lawsuits were dismissed by a lower federal court in 2018. Many of these cases were taken to the Supreme Court in 2021, but were rejected by them as well. Number 3, CM Punk's defamation trial. CM Punk and WWE have not shared the most cordial history with each other, with his most infamous walkout from WWE in 2014 to now competing in its rival company AEW. Punk has had no qualms about speaking against his former employer. One such time landed Punk in some legal trouble. In 2015, WWE's physician Dr. Chris Amon filed a lawsuit against former WWE stars CM Punk and Colt Cabana over their comments on Cabana's Art of Wrestling podcast. In the podcast, Punk spoke out about how WWE neglected his health problem. Punk claimed Amon misdiagnosed a MRSA infection and failed to treat him when he suffered a concussion at the Royal Rumble. The current AEW World Champion even stated that Amon attempted to prescribe him antibiotics as treatment. In his suit, Amon claimed that all of Punk's allegations were false and sought damages of more than $4 million. However, the current AEW champion won the lawsuit and was found not liable for defamation charges. Number 2, Sable's harassment lawsuit. Prior to Brock Lesnar dragging WWE to court, his current wife Sable Lesnar did the same. Everyone who watched WWE during the Attitude Era remembers Sable, who was portrayed as one of the most attractive women in the world and became a regular on WWE television. Then out of nowhere in 1999, Sable vanished from the WWE. The reason was that she had quit the company and immediately filed a lawsuit for $110 million, claiming sexual harassment and unsafe working conditions after reportedly refusing to appear topless on WWE television. Yep, we were in the Attitude Era after all. During the lawsuit, Vince McMahon countersued her over control of the stage name Sable. Lesnar eventually reduced the amount she was seeking in damages, and they settled out of court in August of 1999 for a number that was allegedly around $50 million. Sable would eventually return to the WWE in 2003 before finally leaving the company for good in 2004. Number 1, Brock Lesnar's contract issues. In 2004, Brock Lesnar suddenly quit WWE to pursue his lifelong dream of playing in the NFL, which would quickly be replaced by his dream to fight in the UFC due to an unfortunate accident. However, Lesnar was actually under a fairly complicated contract with WWE when he decided to quit and to get out of it. he agreed to an unbelievable restriction that he would not work for any wrestling company on the planet for the next 6 years. When his NFL career didn't pan out, however, Lesnar went to Japan and began wrestling for New Japan Pro Wrestling, while also having a legal battle against WWE in court, claiming that the contract issue was preventing him from earning a living. The court stood with Lesnar and forced WWE to amend the non-compete clause, preventing Lesnar from wrestling in North America only. After several back-and-forth court visits, a federal judge dismissed the case at the request of both legal parties in 2006. And that's our video for today. If you enjoyed it, do share it with your friends and subscribe to our channel, Sportskeeda Wrestling, for more content like this.